Hi guys, welcome to K's Pro Tips. I'm Project K and today I'm be showing you guys how to mix a trailer. I've recently been working on my new show reel and basically what I did was I made a bit of music and working on a script and I'm gonna do a bit of voice for it. So I just wanted to show you guys. I thought it would be a cool little thing to show you guys about how I put that together. I'm gonna make about a 4 to 5 second to a minute little trailer just so I can show a bit of my work and it's a show reel. You know what a show reel is. Okay, I'm gonna play the trailer so you guys can hear and then I'll get to showing you guys what I did in the mix. Here we go. Yes, sir. And that's the trailer for my new show reel. Okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm not gonna show you guys every single mix channel because it'll be pointless. I'm gonna focus on the important things, or at least what I think is important, and the different sounds and elements in this mix. But what I want to teach people is what I would call conservative method in mixing, where you use a lot of buses with things that you feel are needed to enhance certain things in the song or in your mix. And as you can see, I don't use a lot of inserts on my mixer here. Like I've got a lot of busing going on. So first things first, I set up a lot of buses. So I've got my power compressor with the CLA 3A like I showed you guys before. I got a unplugged here for Canyon, this really big reverb for my hall. And then I've got the room, I've got a plate, dark plate. I've got a tape delay for my delay. I've got a Maserati harmonics for my chorus. I've got fuzz wah for my distortion. I've got the stereo width, default one that comes with Pro Tools for my width, and then my warmth. I've got a Kramer tape and a VEQ basically. And as you can see here, I'm taking off quite a bit on the low pass up to 12, and I'm dropping a few dBs, about let's see, about 5.6 dBs at 6.8. So I'm really narrowing the what comes out of this bus per se. And then I've got a main vocal bus. I'll show you guys a bit of that later. And I got some stems here. I'm not really using this deep vocals, but I got some stems here. And basically they got a bunch of EQ and limiters on it just to help the final output from my gain staging basically. So everything ends up coming out through these 5 buses right here. So all my effects come out through my stereo effects, or my Vox come out through there, high instruments, low instruments, and drums. Okay, I'm gonna go through it. First, another thing just to note, I'm going to do a production tutorial next week on how I made this in FL Studio. So you guys will see what plugins I was working with and what I think of and stuff like that. Like I said in my other tutorial, like with me when it comes to production, I'm really picky about sound selection. So like if you look at this soft piano right here, let me just solo that. If you look at this soft piano right here, it's only bussed to things that help enhance it really. Like I've got a bit of chorus, bit of width, some room. And another thing I'd like to point out is like, okay, this doesn't really show that, but with my width bus, I pan what I'm bussing. I I say go to the left, go to the right. you know, narrow send from there type of thing, because that actually affects what it sounds like once you send it to the bus. So keep things like that in mind. So I'm gonna play this piano. Let me take off all these buses. You guys can hear what this piano is doing. So the piano itself is quite roomy and blurred, and it's got a bit of distortion, and it's like eerie kind of thing. I like that dark sounding kind of music and stuff like that. So I'm gonna turn on these effects. First I'm gonna play it again without anything on. Just helps that eeriness and just pulls that tail and tries to smudge everything together a little bit better. And then I've got these tails that just add a bit of atmosphere to it. And so just adds that airiness of the piano that I got there. And then got this percussion stuff going on here. Now got some impacts. Got some more impacts. I got some reverb effects. Okay, and I got this big piano. This piano is part of a 3 instrument layer that I've got, and it's a stab I wanted, kind of like the Inception sound that haunts my head going on constantly. You just hear this horn stab, like I don't know what he used for that. It was insane. It just drove me crazy. Okay, I'll play the original sound of that first and turn everything off. And I specifically named it Big Piano. Okay, that's the original sound. Now I wanted this to be warmer and bigger. So what I've done is I've compressed it, I've EQ'd a bit of warmth into it. You can see I'm boosting at 56, 270, just to add a bit of low end and even unnecessary low end to it. Pushed it up in the power compressor, and you can see here I've panned it dead center so that I can really get it coming out through the center and just like boom, sending it to a bit of warmth so that I can get a warmth into it and for that tail. So if you listen to it now. And what I've done is I've stacked it with these horns. Now this bright brass here, I've boosted a bit here on 4.2 and about, I would say 8K and a bit by 4K, just so we can get a bit of brighter and bypass this so you guys can hear that. Not that bright. Turn it on. It's a little bit brighter, just add a bit of air into it and you can hear that room a bit more as well, that whole. And I'm sending it to with chorus, a bit of distortion is a bit too clean, and you know, some hall, some delay, a few things here and there, and a bit more distortion and stuff like that. There's other horns and these are a bit more narrower than yeah, just to help it along. So those are my stabs that occasionally come in the song. And then this is the main instrument in the song. These are the staccato strings. Okay, one thing I'd like to point out. Do you hear that there is no low end in that completely at all? There's no low end, and I did that during the production session. I took out the low end because I knew I wanted this piano and this brass to just bang and control that low end, and also my percussion that was the section for it, you know. So I've got my This is the Casa string, but do you hear I'm not sending it to any hall or anything? Do you see how narrow that image is from the power going to the power compressor? It's so that it comes out more in the center. I'm gonna take off this power compressor and you'll get a difference. Just pushes it a little bit more in the center to give you a bit more in your face type of sound. And just to help that those strings along, I made these other two strings, and these are going to a room so you can hear a bit of a tail. And look at how I've panned them. Not completely equal, but close. Just to give it a bit of, like, you know, some weird imaging here and there, just to throw it off a bit. Now, very roomy tail, if you hear a very short roomy tail, because it's a plate. Okay, now to counteract that, I've got this little arpeggiator synth type thing that comes in. Okay, now what I've done with that is that I've sent it to the room and I've given a bit of width, and actually a lot of width, and send it to the hall a bit. But if I play that by itself, you'll hear it. Do you see how it plays with the ears? It's because I knew when I made the original sound that I wanted it to do that. It's already doing a lot of panning and stuff like that by itself, but just adding a bit of room and some width and that hall, you know, just enhances that. So mainly what I'm doing when I get to mix stage is I'm just enhancing the production that I've already worked on, and just to give it a bit of a wider image. And I wanted just a little bit of a tail, you know. Okay, so that's the main instrument. And then when it comes to the voice, this is what the voice is going to be doing by the time it gets to this main vocal channel. This is what it's going to sound like. Let me just send this there. Bus main vox. In a world, Project K. I have no idea what I wanted to say. But anyways, you guys could hear what it does. That's quite cool. Yeah, like, so now I've got like an SSL on there and I'm compressing. Obviously this has its own compression in that. It's boosting a bit of the lows there, sending a bit of a delay, but I've turned it down quite a bit. And then on top of that, I've got a compressor and another compressor and a limiter just to really enhance it and push it in front of your face. And then look at the pan, dead center, always gonna cut through the mix, because there's nothing really coming out dead center, maybe on the power compressor and stuff like that. Then I'm setting it to a compressor, narrow, very image there, setting it to a bit of room. Do you see how the compressor is setting a little bit more left and the room is setting a little bit more right, just to throw the ears off a little bit and create some imaging and stuff like that. And delay, some width, and a bit of warmth. And the warmth is not very wide, it's just there to just give it a bit of feel, you know. That's basically what I do with it. And yeah, the last thing I want to show you guys is the percussion and just the effect it has. So if we, I'll show you what I did to it as well. So I've got, let me put on these reverb effects and some more percussion down here. I should actually just move this up here. Okay, now what I want to show you guys is parallel compression. That is what's running these drums basically. A bit of width on the percussion, the main percussion, because they're going quite wide and the toms are playing in different parts and stuff like that. And power compression, more central. More central, more central. That's actually what I'm doing to mix these, really. It's just pushing different power compression, and I wanted a bit of distortion on this, so I sent it to a bit of a distortion bus and give it a bit of whole. The reverb, I've got some delay, some whole, a bit of power compression, not too much. And I've EQ'd these drums here quite a bit. If we play that. Let's just get to it. Okay, I'm gonna play the original of that without anything on. It's not gonna sound much different. Okay. Just makes it a bit bigger and gives it a bit of a tail with that hole. So that's actually how I approach mixing something like this, is a lot of imaging type of stuff, because there's so much happening at the same time. And then you also gotta look at it from a production point of view. Like there's things where I faded things in towards the end. Like if I play this section here, you'll hear the song build. So the song starts. You're gonna hear these faded sounds come in just now. Yeah, so I'm gonna discuss a few of these techniques that I've done here in the production tutorial next week. So I hope you guys enjoyed this and you found some useful tips. This is just my way of working. You don't have to work this way. It's just the way I find works best for me, and I'm able to do just a little bit of enhancement after the actual production. And I think the things I really focus on mainly is just trying to create imaging and space for the voice. You know, just everything is still in your face, everything is still loud, everything is still impacting and so forth, but there's a space for your voice to actually work in the actual trailer. Anyways, I'm Project K. Hope you guys enjoyed that, and see you guys next week. Yes, sir.